Morning. I grew up here in this church. Over the years, people ask me frequently, how did I get to be the way I am? I figured out what they meant, but, so I tell them, well, I'm a middle child. Middle children think nothing is ever fair. And I tell them that I grew up in the 60s, paying very careful attention to what was going on, even though I was just a little kid. I tell people I learned it in my church. As I sat there, usually over that side of the pews, my ADD was turning me into something akin to the Tasmanian devil. Enough was puncturing my unfocusable brain, though, to make it clear that anti-war protesting, civil rights, and the war on poverty were totally consistent with my Christian faith. With God on my side, I put everything I had into trying to save the world. I sprinted through a 40-year marathon. I don't have a story. I have stories, lots of them. We challenged the banks when they were denying access to credit to people of color. We challenged the realtors when they were steering white homebuyers out of the city of Allentown. We challenged elected officials of all kinds of issues, from minimum wage to land use planning. I met twice with Alan Greenspan when he was the chairman of the Federal Reserve to try to get him to stop the predatory lending that eventually brought down the economy. Community Action, the agency for which I worked for 40 years, serving as executive director for since I was 32, runs the Second Harvest Food Bank, which has distributed close to 200 million pounds of food to needy people in Lehigh Valley. I started it when I was 24 and hired this church's beloved Janet Nye as its first director. The Sixth Street Shelter has sheltered roughly 4,000 homeless families with children. We weatherized 25,000 homes, helped 4,000 families buy their first home, busted a mortgage fraud conspiracy that ripped off 200 mostly Latino families. We helped pass laws like the minimum wage increase. We helped hundreds of entrepreneurs start their businesses. The campaign to pass a referendum that generated $65 million and saved thousands of acres of farmland and open spaces was something that we organized and ran. We revitalized 7th Street into a vibrant, minority-owned business district. During this pandemic, we distributed government-funded relief payments to hundreds of businesses struggling to keep it all going. And by the way, this church played an important role in a lot of those initiatives. I was arrogant. I was temperamental. I was possessed, impatient. I sacrificed a lot. My family sacrificed a lot. And now, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And I don't even feel like our world is a better place for all that effort. I've long said I'm cynical enough to know what I'm up against, but optimistic enough to pick the fight anyway. I've fought like hell. I've seen so much it has tested my faith, and I'm not expecting it to pass that test anytime soon. If God is on our side, I'm not sure I see it. We fight too much, lie too much, cheat too much. We don't challenge the system enough. We're awful stewards of our environment. We don't pay enough attention to our kids. We need to look at ourselves not by how much we have accumulated, but by how much we shared. We use terms like American exceptionalism. We think we're the greatest country in the world. We're not. Great nations don't leave their weakest citizens behind. Great nations don't leave a baking planet to their children and grandchildren. They don't let presidents get away with trying to overthrow their government. Too many Americans claim to be patriots but hate their government. If God is love, the rest is just details. And the difference between right and wrong is usually not hard to distinguish. I can't run a $30 million nonprofit anymore. My limitations, due especially to Parkinson's, are more apparent every day. But I can still write letters, make phone calls, write opinion columns, sacrifice, find donors, spend our money responsibly and sustainably. I can still vote, volunteer my time to make a difference in someone's life, and you can too. If you work hard enough at it, you can find some pretty good news out there. It's just hard to find amidst the misery, the hate, and the sound of gunfire. I have no idea where all this leads us. That millions of Americans saw nothing wrong with the riot on January 6th speaks volumes. That the President of the United States defends it speaks volumes more. I don't recognize my country. I'm not a proud American. I'm a frustrated Christian. But we can't give up. I won't, and you shouldn't. From my perspective, Lenin, not the Bolshevik, but the Beatle, sums the Bible up in 5 simple words. Love, 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 love. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. And that's my story.